What's going on, guys? It's Clutch Plays here, and yesterday, as we all know, the Knicks got their second win of the season versus the Mavs. This game was by far the Knicks' best game of the season, and the biggest positive about the win is that the Knicks were able to close out the game strong without having to take terrible shots like usual. The Mavs are not a bad team by any means and may make the playoffs this year, but even though they're more talented than us, we beat them with our effort and intensity on both sides of the ball. Frank Ntilikina played his best game yet in a Knicks uniform, and even though his box score stats are good at 14 points, 4 assists, 6 rebounds, 4 steals, and 3 blocks, his impact on the game was so much more significant. Whoever it was that Frank was guarding, he shut them down. On multiple occasions, he forced turnovers that are not apparent in the stat sheet, like traveling and bad passes. He also knocked balls out of players' hands. He forced multiple air balls and awful shots, and stopped so many different fast break opportunities. Even though Luka Doncic had an incredible game, a lot of this came off of switches off of Frank, and when Frank was guarding Luka, he did great. Like, look at this, Frank forced 5 turnovers and allowed 11 points on pretty poor shooting when guarding him. Most importantly though, when watching the game, you could see that Frank was our best player. Marcus Morris played well too, as he scored 29 points, but the true unsung hero of the game was Taj Gibson. Even though his box score wasn't anything crazy with 12 points and 8 rebounds, he had a huge impact on this team. He was the leader on the defensive and offensive side of the ball. He was the one who was holding people accountable for defensive mistakes, most notably with Kevin in the fourth quarter, and he did all the little things the Knicks needed, from setting great screens which allowed Marcus Morris wide open shots, leading the team in the stretch, and coming up with that one clutch putback to make it a 6-point game towards the end of the game. The Knicks still shot 58% from the free throw line and went 18 for 31, which is absolutely inexcusable. If we shot 70% from the free throw line, we would have gotten an extra 5 to 6 points. Also, why is RJ asking for the ball in free throw situations? I like that he's trying to be the hero and everything and he wants to take the clutch shot, but bro, you gotta know your place. Kristaps Porzingis had his debut against his former team where he scored 28 points on 11 of 22 from the field. This was bound to happen because the Knicks have no match for him other than Frank, especially with Mitch out with the concussion. Before this incredible game though, we did have to hear Kristaps Porzingis talk about his tenure with the Knicks, and honestly, it's just awful to watch. Not because it's hard to see him on a different team, rather the ignorance to the whole situation he has. This is me from the future here. I was about to just upload this video, but then I saw this amazing article about KP and what he was actually like in New York, so I feel like I had to share it to you. It's from Clutch Points. It came out yesterday, and let me just go over a few of these things in the article. So KP changed and began acting like a diva after his first year in the NBA, and one NBA source said that he changed. The same source said that Kristaps Porzingis would go up to Jeff Hornacek and have no issue with saying "fuck you" to him, and basically just show him no respect whatsoever. Also, right when he got a little bit of fame, and being in New York would obviously give him fame, and especially with the way he's playing in the future that he had. Let's just say the fame changed Kristaps Porzingis, and prior to his rookie season, he was invited to be a guest at the US Open to support Latvian tennis players. And then the next US Open, Kristaps Porzingis was also invited to the US Open to support Latvian tennis players again. But right when he gets a bit more fame, he asked for an insane amount of free seats, which already the seats are going to be pretty expensive, but the tennis association said no, and Porzingis just canceled on them. And on top of this, there's the exit interview, and this just shows that Kristaps was a complete diva in New York, and no one really knew that, and everyone thought he was this amazing guy. Even I thought he was an amazing guy, but maybe this wasn't the case. To start, he says this out of the blue, not even 50 seconds into the interview.
Yeah, it's a part of the business, you know. The thing is, like, I have nothing but love for the city of New York and the fans. You know, they show me so much support the time I was there, and they're so passionate about the team. You know, so it's normal that they feel that way. So all I can do is just look forward, you know, to what I have in front of me, not behind, and that's it. So it's my groove really, and you know, of course I'm excited to play against my old team. You know, Coach Fisdale and some of the guys that I played with, so it's going to be fun, but I'm more looking forward to just getting back into my rhythm.
Kristaps immediately brings up the Knicks fans and fan base, and he says this because he knows what's coming to him on November 14th and wants to stop everything that's coming his way. He knows that he won't be able to take a step in New York City without being booed or harassed. Heck, even in his own country, he's had Knicks fans get mad at him for snaking out the Knicks. Remember this situation? Who knows if he really means this or not? I'd probably say that he did at one point, but definitely not now. Next, Kristaps is asked to clarify what happened with the trade request, and he says he'll get into too much trouble if he talks about it. Just watch this clip here.
About what happened on the way out?
I don't know. I'm probably getting more trouble if I start talking about that stuff, you know. That definitely wasn't the way I wanted it to happen. But there, I guess, wasn't really other way how to do it, you know. And then I put out some, with all the emotions going on in that moment when I got traded, I put out some stupid Instagram stories, you know, just laying in my bed late at night, like, oh man, I got traded, you know. So just, you know, we all make mistakes, and it wasn't that perfect. There was no like smooth way out of that, I think, you know. So got a little bit ugly.
Once again, he tries to be the so-called good guy and makes some excuse why he's not ready to talk about what really happened. I mean, what do you expect? Snakes aren't going to tell you anything straight up, just behind your back. Next, he goes into the Instagram stories that he put out saying the truth will come out and so on. But later he says that there's no easy way to get out of this situation. He knew that this Instagram story was an act of desperation with no truth, ultimately to pit Knicks fans against the management. But hey, he was actually right for once. The truth really did come out. Okay, that's too far. It's a joke. I'm sorry. He also says that he has nothing negative to say, but this is because snakes strike best when no one's expecting it. He definitely has some negative things to say. The final bit of comments that I'm going to go over is at the end when he talks about his time in New York and keeps repeating the same two lines over and over as he says this.
No. I mean, it's as I said, I have nothing negative to say. You know, it's in the past. It's in the past, and I'm grateful for those years that I spent in New York. You know, it's a great experience. It's a great experience. That's it. What else can I say? That's it. I mean, it's. Hey, listen, like, I loved my time there. Like, for real, I did love my time there, and I love the support there. That's all I gotta say. Yeah, I do. Yeah, we exchange messages and stuff, and I follow the guys how they're playing still, and so on. So yeah, of course, like I still follow the guys.
He keeps saying, I love my time there and I have nothing negative to say about the Knicks, as if someone told him to say those two things. Kristaps knows it's a business and he's trying to leverage himself in the best way possible to be successful on and off the floor. Even when he was drafted into the NBA, he wanted to be a Knick and play in New York. He said he wanted to spend his entire career as a Knick, but did he really mean that though? No! No person in their right mind would immediately say that they want to be with one team their entire career without knowing the circumstances. Like, no one's going to sign a 20-year non-guaranteed contract as a rookie. However, what better way to win over the Knicks fan base, the biggest and most loyal fan base in the entire NBA, by saying these words. One can say it, but it's a whole nother thing when they do it. Giannis, KP's brother, is behind him working on everything for KP, and there is no doubt in my mind that he gave him a guide of what to say when KP was asked these questions a few days ago. The two of them know that having the most passionate fans against them is not beneficial to their brand, especially when those fans will do everything in their power to exterminate them from the city of New York. Does KP really mean some of the things he says in this interview? Probably, but he's also saying these things because he's scared of what's about to happen on November 14th. He knows that every Knicks fan is going to boo him every second of the game, to the point where he will not be able to hear himself think. Don't let these comments get in your guys' heads or help you show sympathy for him, because that's what he wants and he won't say the truth. We're talking about a snake here, a snake who strikes best when no one's expecting it. Now obviously I'm extremely biased in this situation and could be saying a ton of crap that makes no sense, but just understand this one thing. The comments that Kristaps Porzingis made are not his true, genuine feelings, rather comments that are trying to save himself from the fearful trip ahead of him. Kristaps knows what's about to come his way, and there is absolutely no escaping it. He can try to do everything he can to try and make amends with Knicks fans, but fool us once, shame on you. Fool us twice, shame on us. November 14th is about to be fun, and if you're going to the game, make sure you boo him with everything you got. I know this video is straight up trashing KP, but I can say nothing gets me more upset than snakes. At least if someone tells you something straight up that they don't want to be there or something's going wrong, you can respect it. But when someone betrays your loyalty and snakes you as well, then I start to get a bit angry. Once again, I'm going to say I'm extremely biased in this situation, so understand that this is more of an opinionated video showing what KP really is trying to do with his interviews when talking about the Knicks. But the majority of this stuff is true though. I know this is a bit of a different video and a lot of rambling, but if you enjoyed, tell me down below, because I'm actually pretty curious what you guys have to say about this whole situation. With that said, I have a new video coming out soon that I'm super excited about, and I'm out, and peace! November 14th.